Welcome back to another episode, everyone. I hope everyone is enjoying their day wherever they are on this amazing planet. As usual, this is Rich doing another video about XRP today. I have to start with this XRP before we can discuss XRP. The US government is acquiring more businesses as a result of the Army's speculation on billions in Ripple Escrow. Zach Rector remarks, "I wonder if they would like some XRP from Ripple's escrow too." And I noticed that many other people were echoing a similar sentiment. Perhaps they will purchase a share in Ripple, but I believe the US government already has a strategy for our future. In my opinion, RLUSD will become the digital currency of the United States. That, in my opinion, is the reason Ripple met with the president in the summer of 2024, even before he was inaugurated. The president probably wanted an alternative to a digital currency issued by a central bank, and Ripple responded, "Hey, we're launching a stablecoin. You could utilize that as the digital dollar." However, once you understand what XRP can accomplish and how it can boost the value of the US dollar, President Trump can't be unaware of it. You must keep in mind that during his presidency in 2017, 2018, and 2019, they discussed XRP. Back then, they were even discussing the idea of a digital dollar issued by a central bank. In 2025, I believe that everything they discussed back then is going to happen. According to analysts, it is archaic to consider XRP as merely a payment. The actual reason why XRP can reach $10,000, as its use extends beyond payments, is revealed here. They claim that because of everything else going on right now, including Ripple's shift from merely being a payments company to getting involved with tokenization, custody, and other things, some people think XRP can suddenly reach the $10,000 price point, while others contend that it will never do so. My opinions on this are as follows. Why is it not able to reach $10,000? What is preventing XRP from reaching that price? We have a market cap multiplier for XRP which is constantly about 4,500 times, so any money that enters the market causes a significant price movement. As a result, you cannot cite market cap. Everyone would then respond, well, previous cycles. Listen, this 4-year cycle idea, that's also going away. Once utility shows up, that's going to change the 4-year cycle forever. Everybody keeps saying the 4-year cycle's ending for Bitcoin. Yeah, because utility is going to end it. But when the creator of XRP, Arthur Brito, said that it was built to be a $10,000 asset, I don't think he was joking. I think what he was telling you back then was at some point in the future, when all of this comes together, XRP will be a 5-digit asset. And right away, people would ask me, what's the timeline for that to happen?
I think it happens before 2030. I think the timeline is more for around 2027 to 2028. I think by then, CBDCs will be in place in almost every single country. They will be live in almost every single country. And the countries that don't have a central bank digital currency, they will have a stablecoin. By then, the digital dollar will already be gaining momentum by then. And I think most of the unbanked population of the world will have access to a bank account as well. But then you factor in tokenization, and by then I think tokenization will be astronomical. The likelihood that XRP will never reach $10,000 is higher than the likelihood that it won't, as it will be far into the trillions of dollars in real-world assets. According to John E. Deaton, it has a greater chance of reaching 10,000 than it does of reaching 0. Similar to my prediction that Gemini's XRP card would be the company's most popular credit card, I also anticipated this. In terms of recent downloads, I believe that XRP holdings helped the Gemini app overtake the Coinbase app. Recall that in the SEC versus Ripple case, 75,000 XRP holders from 143 different countries participated as an amici class. That has never happened before, and Johnny Deaton is correct. On the US iOS App Store, Gemini outperforms Coinbase. Gemini is currently ranked 16th, while Coinbase is ranked 20th, following the introduction of its XRP MasterCard. That is the XRP Army's strength. I was aware that MasterCard would be in high demand. However, I believe that people are exaggerating it. They claim that it will have a significant impact on XRP's price in the days ahead. If this is going to result in value for XRP, it will probably take longer, in my opinion. This untidy-haired man discussed future defensive assets like Bitcoin and XRP. Listen to it.
Are you saying that a lot of that Nostro money one day is going to be in XRP? Is that the ultimate goal?
Oh, it's going to be replaced. It's going to be replaced by XRP. And so that just that demand for the thimble of oil, like that thimble is pretty big. And so if all the banks need just enough XRP to handle their liquidity requirements, and you also have money transmitters doing it, and maybe even just major corporations are doing it as well. They're just posting their own liquidity around. Everybody needs less liquidity than they needed Nostro and Vostro fiat currency, but that's still a lot of practical need for XRP. And so I think Ripple's done some of those calculations. If each bank around the world and each other regulated financial institution had just enough XRP for their liquidity needs, that would create amazing practical demand for XRP all around the world. Just like there's only 21 million Bitcoins, if people want to have that in their portfolio as like a defensive asset, by the time all the different retirement funds, hedge funds, individuals buy just to have a little bit of extra of Bitcoin tucked away, that creates an overall aggregate demand for Bitcoin. Same is true for Ripple, although its purpose is not just like as a panic currency. It's for a very specific task, creating an alternative to the heavy liquidity needs for the current Nostro Vostro system of correspondent banking.
And
Pay attention. He stated, replace Nostro Vostro. That messy hair guy is a great kid. He also called for high demand, which I agree with. There will be a shortage of XRP, but there will also be an overwhelming demand, which is another way to reach that $10,000 XRP. However, we're just not quite there yet. This is about to happen because the banks would likewise support opening those Nostro Vostro accounts. All of that liquidity may be returned to those banks. They could utilize it to obtain additional loans and do a variety of tasks for which they lack the necessary funds. When he mentioned scarcity Bitcoin and 21 million coins, it suddenly resolved all of the bank's issues. Simply wait until they all have a lot of QNT, just over 14 million, when the price begins to rise. At that point, the people who are holding Bitcoin will only talk about QNT because it's like Bitcoin on steroids and has less money than Bitcoin. Don't save your money in a bank, though, because it has a purpose and a use case and will be the glue that holds the whole financial system together. You know the majority of cryptocurrency investors, but they are now beginning to write articles warning you not to keep your money in the bank. We don't keep money in the bank in any case, and any excess cash we have after paying our bills ends up in cryptocurrency. If you're diversified, it ends up in XLM, XDC, HBAR, and so on. The bank will never make you wealthy in cryptocurrency. However, as Bill Morgan noted, it might set you financially free if you prefer to keep your money in a checking account and earn less than 1% interest. It would be dishonest of you not to reveal that SBI is a significant shareholder in Ripple, and that all of their collaborations and projects incorporate XRP. And early next year, here are a few examples. Applications like MoneyTap, a payment app for rapid domestic transfers in Japan, and SBI Remit, which uses XRP for remittances to increase speed and reduce costs, are using Ripple Payments and the XRP ledger to streamline their ATM network. Also, a project that uses the SBI Digital Communities VTO3 effort to promote NFTs on the XRP ledger. Tokenized real-world assets, tokenized money, and regulated stablecoins in Japan, and later Asia-Pacific, are the main use cases that the SBI partnership with Chainlink focuses on. To facilitate safe cross-chain transactions involving assets like bonds and real estate, SBI plans to make use of Chainlink's cross-chain interoperability protocol, Chainlink Proof of Reserve for transparent stablecoin reserve verification, and Chainlink Smart Data for on-chain net asset value data for tokenized funds. Instead of immediately conflicting with Ripple's payment-focused solutions, this is about developing the infrastructure for institutional crypto adoption. While Chainlink's connection is more about tokenization and data interoperability for institutional finance, Ripple's engagement with SBI is more about payments and liquidity, such as remittances and stablecoin distribution. The many connections are not sufficiently competing, rather they are complementary. Link is just another excellent project, but with this anti-XRP maxi foolishness, it will never be the one coin to govern them all. Since everyone is currently discussing how SBI is switching from XRP to Chainlink, which isn't actually occurring, I thought the piece was excellent. Additionally, SBI plans to use XDC for digital trade. In the future, several cryptocurrencies are expected to collaborate in this area as the new financial system is beginning to take shape. There will be many different participants, but they will be complementing one another rather than competing. The only conflict amongst retail investors will be over whether my coin is better than your coin, or whether my cryptocurrency will be more expensive than your cryptocurrency. Blah, blah, blah. Hear me out. This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance. There's no point in arguing. Make investments in the things you wish to make. Expand your horizons. Profit from this area. Put yourself in a financially free institution that is now deploying capital rather than testing tokenization. Thoughtful. Listen to what Ondo has to say.
I do think increasingly within TradFi, you have very smart people who understand exactly where the puck is headed. They have been waiting, but quietly developing their capabilities to move at an accelerated pace the moment regulation would allow. Regulation now allows them to move onto public blockchains in a much bigger way. So the amount of movement that I'm seeing right now within TradFi is unlike anything I have seen in the almost 10 years that I have looked at it, and it's not even close.
As a result, he is currently experiencing something within TradFi that he hasn't seen in about a decade. This is enormous. The current situation is far more significant than most people realize. We're observing. This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance for us, as we witness the current financial system transition into the digital era, and we are already involved in it. People are still unaware of that. Many want to sell and quit cryptocurrency as soon as XRP has a bad day. This is an opportunity that you will never have again in your lifetime. This is an opportunity that comes only once in a lifetime. The FUD must be ignored. The internal strife within each of these societies must also be disregarded. There are members of the XRP community who are hating on the cryptocurrency. That's how absurd it's getting. Maintain your investments and achieve financial independence. Right now, that's all you need to do. Until it does, remain patient, remain optimistic, and let's get rich together. That being said, I will now conclude this video. Thank you for watching, everyone. Thanks to everybody. In the next one, I'll see you.